A person's greatness isn't defined by luck, wealth, or power. It's shaped by thought. Every empire, every innovation, every legend began as a single idea in someone's mind. Elon Musk imagined the stars. Steve Jobs imagined the future. Jeff Bezos imagined possibility. And as Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, what you think about, you become. But if that's true, why do so many dreamers never rise? Why do millions think big, yet live small? Why do they fail to see the power that already lives within them? Today's story answers that question. And if you listen with your heart, it might just change how you see yourself. So stay until the end. I promise, it will be worth your time. Once in a crowded railway station, there lived a beggar. Every day he survived by asking strangers for a few coins as trains came and went. One morning he noticed a man stepping off the platform. A businessman in a crisp suit, eyes full of confidence, presence commanding respect. The beggar thought, "This man must be rich. If I ask him, he'll surely give me something generous." He approached with hope, hand outstretched. But instead of handing him money, the businessman paused, looked him in the eye, and asked, "Do you always just take from others? Have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar froze. He had heard many words in his life, insults, pity, rejection, but never that. "Sir," he stammered, "I'm just a beggar. I survive by asking for alms. I have nothing to give." The businessman smiled slightly. "If you believe you have nothing to give, then you have no right to ask for anything. I am a businessman. I believe in exchange. If you can offer me something, I can give you something in return. But if you offer nothing, I cannot give you anything either." And with that, he boarded his train and left. The beggar stood there, silent. Not humiliated, but awakened. No one had ever spoken to him that way before. He wasn't cruel. He was right, the beggar thought. If I give nothing, why should I expect anything? That night he couldn't sleep. His mind replayed the man's words again and again. If you want to receive, you must first give. But what could he give? He had no home, no money, no possessions. Still, that single idea refused to leave his mind. 2 days passed. He didn't beg. He simply sat thinking. Then, on the third day, he noticed something. A patch of wildflowers blooming near the railway tracks. They were simple, yet beautiful, alive with color. And then it struck him. What if I offer something back? What if I give a flower to everyone who gives me a coin? With quiet determination, he picked a few flowers and returned to his usual spot. When someone handed him a coin, he smiled and offered them a flower in return. At first, people were surprised. Then, they smiled. Some thanked him. Some gave more. Day by day, something miraculous happened. The more he gave, the more he received. And he noticed, when he ran out of flowers, the coins stopped too. So it's true, he realized. People love to give when they receive something meaningful in return. One afternoon, he saw the same businessman sitting in the train again. Heart pounding, he rushed forward. "Sir," he said, beaming, "today I have something to give you. If you give me money, I will give you flowers in return." The businessman smiled, handed him some cash, and took the flowers. "You have understood the value of exchange," he said. "Today, you are no longer a beggar. You are a businessman." The train pulled away, but the beggar stood there, motionless, transformed. A businessman? Me? And in that moment, something inside him shifted forever. I'm not a beggar anymore. People don't give me money out of pity. They pay for value. This means I have a business. That day, he left the railway station and never returned as a beggar again. 6 months later, two well-dressed men met at that same station. They shook hands. One of them paused, curious. "Do I know you?" he asked. The other smiled. "Yes, we've met twice before, right here on this very train." The first man frowned, trying to remember. Then his eyes widened. "Wait, you're the beggar, the one I refused to give money to and later bought flowers from," the man laughed. "Yes, that was me. But today, I'm not a beggar anymore. I run a successful flower business, and I'm traveling to expand it further." The businessman stared, amazed. "That's incredible. What changed?" The flower seller smiled. "You taught me the greatest truth of all. We only receive when we give." That day, I realized I was never truly poor. I was a businessman all along. I just had to believe it. They shook hands again, now as equals. Two men, two paths, both transformed by a single conversation. And that, my friend, is the power of perception. Life is not what you see, it's how you see. If you see yourself as small, you will remain small. But when you recognize your inner power, life begins to expand. You were never ordinary, you just forgot who you are. So from this moment on, see yourself as strong, capable, worthy. Because when your thoughts change, your destiny does too. If this story moved you, give it a thumbs up. Comment what you learned, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Because sometimes one story can awaken an entire life.